A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure as always to welcome you each week to the program. We're already in the month of March, so it feels like the year is running a little bit fast, right? Anyway, I do hope you are still keeping hope alive because that's the only way to go. Once again, you're welcome to the program, and my name is Margaret Mary Osiwo. On our lineup this week, we joined Faith and her guest, Prof Festus Epetimehin, who is the Dean of College of Management Sciences in the Joseph Ayo Babalola University and also the first Professor of Insurance and Risk Management in Nigeria, for the continuation of their explosive session on the topic, The Long Road to Micro-Insurance Development in Nigeria. Professor Epetimehin stated that those who want to take part or play in the micro-insurance space must be willing to cooperate rather than compete with each other to reduce overhead costs. Do take it.
Looking at our industry, I don't see a lot of cooperation in that industry. I must confess, we have not been cooperating. If we had been cooperating really, this cutthroat competition would not be there. But everybody in the industry is fighting for survival.
On this edition also, we will bring you highlights of the Fidelity Bank main stage session at the 2018 Social Media Week, aptly tagged the Digital Takeover, which took place recently at the Landmark Event Center in Lagos. The theme was how millennials are changing the financial landscape.
55% of our customers are below the age of 35. 55%. So when people say the millennials are taking over, they're not taking over. They've already taken over.
Plus, of course, all the other extras bring you each week on the program. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the lineup. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.
Okay, now moving on, Prof. Let's look at issues facing microinsurance globally. You have high cost of selling. You have difficulty in finding effective distribution channels, low insurance awareness, and of course the issue of data. How can in our market, how can they surmount this problem, given the fact that the world insurance in Nigeria doesn't naturally don't just say insurance, doesn't really evoke a very pleasant feeling from a lot of people?
Yes, I've said it. It's in two parts now. We want to look at it from high cost of selling, channel of distribution, awareness and so on.
Data.
Yes, and data and collection of data to be able to actually work out actuarially the premium and so on. But then I want to believe that the insurance companies that will be coming into this type of policy will do a lot to solve that problem. But where we have problem is the second aspect. Yes, they will surmount it by what I've said. If they have the capital in place, they will be able to surmount some of these problems. They will be able to create the awareness, and that's where we are clamoring that the federal government and the state should take part. The state and the federal government will do a lot of advertisement, even on behalf of the insurance companies, so that the populace will get the awareness that this is something that is good for them. And by the time they will be paying claims, because there is no way that claims will not be coming in, either by crooked means or by yes. Some people will just, in insurance, people will fake claims and so on. They will say, well, they can come overnight and say they have stolen all the goods. So it will come. But even where they are able to do their check very well and they pay the claim promptly, people will begin to get that awareness that they have to do this, take this policy. And they will have that confidence and trust of the insurance companies that is actually selling it. But if at the time of claims, we are doing it the way we have been doing the conventional insurance, where some insurance companies will tell you the managing director has traveled and this and that, then they will indirectly kill that product. They will kill this microinsurance thing. But I want the microinsurance to thrive because it's going to help a lot. It's going to reduce poverty a lot. If you're able to sensitize them, do a lot of publicity, if possible, use people like you to publicize the microinsurance thing, people will buy. It's because people are not aware of the importance and what insurance can do for them that we're having this problem. Continue to talk about low penetration. There will always be low penetration if people are not aware of what you are selling. It's when I know what you are selling and I look at it critically and see whether it's valuable to me. It is then I put my money. So if the low income people or the poor people now discover that they can benefit from this product, forget about the sensitization, forget about whatever cost, they will go in and pay and take it up. So that's the way I look at it.
Okay, Prof, I'm still going to also dwell a little bit on this, on that. And where I want us to look at is, even with the conventional insurance as we have it right now, you don't find that there are some products that are really tailored for low-income people.
Yeah.
But the big problem that is I see oftentimes is the fact that it does appear that underwriters are not willingly ready to leave Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and the major cities. So for micro insurance, when you talk about distribution channels, how can they overcome this problem of really going out to the rural people, where the rural people is, where you can find them, to give them the message of what you are selling before they can now see value of what you're selling and of course embrace it?
You see, the banks have surmounted this problem because if you look at some of these rural areas, the nooks and corners of even very local area, you see a bank there. If you don't see a real bank something operating, you see a kind of post office banking going on. And I'm thinking that one of the ways, like already highlighted in the guidelines, is to use some of these banks that are already in the rural area, maybe collaborate with some of the banks and have maybe one or two staff, a marketer and somebody like a manager or supervisor that will work with the bank's customers around the area and sell your products to the people within the area. And not only that, if you look at our country, we have the cooperatives all around. We have all these cooperatives. You can make use of the cooperatives instead of.
How you've had an experience. How easy do you think that is?
Yes, because I was a managing director of an insurance company, having the 36 cooperatives insurance federation on as my directors or shareholders. That is, my shareholders are the cooperative movement from the 36 states. So it was very easy for us to market this product. We were using some of the cooperative officers within the cooperative unions and society to sell our risk management product for us. And so all they do is, we were paying them something. So all they do at the end of the month is to help us collect the savings from all the records of the insurance, the cooperative under them, all their savings and the loans every month in form of declaration policies. They will declare it and they will only multiply it by the 60 kobo per thousand and get our premium, and they will pay us. And then we're using the cooperative bank. Then, because cooperative bank now made it mandatory and compulsory for them that before you can take loan as a cooperative society, you must have, or you must show your certificate of loans and savings from Worldwide Insurance. So this made it very simple for us. And by the time we were, joining companies to mutual benefit during the merger something, by the time we merged together, we handed this over to them. And that is why mutual benefit is one of the practitioners of all these, microinsurance today, because they are still using the cooperatives extensively. So that could be a way of selling. That is, you go through the cooperatives and the cooperative will be selling for you, and you just give them token instead of employing staff to do that for you.
But how easy would it be for newcomers to also tap into the cooperative?
No, it will be very easy. It's just a way of telling, if possible, you have to arrange with them how much you are going to pay them. Maybe they are to sell the policy for you. You don't need to bring staff there, or you have just a supervisor going around to make sure that something is going on. But the cooperators will take something from you, and they will be selling the policy among the cooperators for you. It's very easy. And if you don't want to use that, there are so many groups. There are clubs. There are social clubs that you can make use of. There's no way you get to any state or any town, as local as it may be, that will not get clubs. So these clubs can assist you to market this product to their...
Okay, but Prof, using clubs or social organizations, as you said, first you have to win, like a lot of people have said, you have to win the trust of those people first. That will help you as your foot soldier. So how, as I said, when you say insurance, it doesn't really evoke a lot of good feelings among most Nigerians. So how do you, the first step of even winning the trust of maybe a particular state you go to, and you say, oh, this is what you have. How do you first overcome the hurdle of winning the trust of those you're going to employ as your foot soldiers?
Well, naturally, I think the first thing the insurance companies that want to go into this type of business should do is to do what exactly the bankers are doing. They will always have what we call banker forum, where they invite all these people they want to use. They bring them to the forum, tell them what they want from them, make them happy, let them trust you that what you promise you will do it. So in that forum, they will have been able to gather so many people and talk to them, give them, and promise them something to assist them. It's not a free...
There's no free lunch.
There's no free lunch. No. It's everybody want to tell you what is in it for me.
Yeah.
So that what is in it for me is what you have to give them. That we are ready to do this for you. What are you doing for us? Then we made this available. And when there is a claim, they come through these people. And you settle their claims. They'll be happy. There's no way you can gain the trust of people until you are closer to them. And there is no way you can close to people as an organization until you bring them forward. So you have to go to, maybe in Ondo State, you come to Akure, look at Owo, all these areas, you want to plant or something. Call them to a meeting. Give them a kind of ringleader. Tell them what you want to do for them, if they are able to help you do this. And at the end of the day, they will want to do it. You have not disappointed them, they will continue doing it. But the day you disappoint them, they leave you. That's all. It's true.
Okay, so I will find in other places like Peru and the Philippines, where you find underwriters that have started from ground zero, and they've built over time, a period of 10 years. They were able to build, gather 18 million policies over a decade, generating over $19 million US as premium income. But their selling points was, and he still is, prompt claims settlement. And in doing that, sometimes, like I read part of this, sometimes even claims that they are not so sure when you talk about fraud, but because they want to continue to maintain that relationship and retain the trust, they just overlook it and they pay. But for someone who is going to put in 600 million now, for example, I would want to overlook that because I'm in a hurry to make money and recoup my investment. I just want your thoughts on that.
Yes, maybe I should go this way. That, like we have just said, we should try and bring in the federal government into this, to this project or program. That is where you talk about 600 million. Even the individual you are talking about with 40 million, we want to recoup his money back
as soon as
possible. I agree with you. But thank God, if you look at the guidelines stipulated so many things there during the claim settlement period that within 48 hours, you should pay this claim. And where you have a kind of conflict, there are ways to report to NICOM. So this should be at the back of the mind of people who are coming into this program, that you cannot afford to delay claims if you really want to make way in that line. So they have to pay their claims promptly. Well, in a mad rush to make your money back is always a problem in Nigeria. Even with the conventional insurance, I remember when some banks came in and they were buying insurance, they thought the money was. But later on, some of them burned their fingers and they ran away. And they said, we don't want. And you see some of them saying, well, we are not interested in general business again. Let's just make do with life. Why? Because they had in mind that when you have insurance company, you make money immediately. Forgetting that the claim aspect is there, unlike the banks. In the banks, you put in your money there for years, it will be growing. But today, if you buy an insurance policy, tomorrow you might have a claim. That they don't know. So those, we want to advise those that want to come in. Those individuals that have the money, because don't let me deceive you. We might be talking about underwriters coming into the project. Some of the senators who have this money might say, let's try it. This is an avenue to make money. But it's not an avenue to make money. They should have that. It's not an avenue to make money. Because at the end of the day, the first 2, 3, 4 years may not bring in the necessary profit you are talking about. You may not get the excess at all. Because for the first 3, 4 years, it's like you might be investing into that project.
Do you really see people going the long haul of investing 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years?
That's another problem. In Nigeria here, no. Everybody is looking for quick returns. And we are going to face that problem in this microinsurance thing. And that is why we have not seen people coming out and say, okay, I want to go into it. People want, within a year or two, they want their money. And they will tell you that if I put 600 million in any investment, or what do you call it, maybe not stock market now, just
maybe fixed deposit
or treasury bill, within 3 months I will make so much. They will start calculating, and they will start looking at going into this venture and putting their money in investment. That may create a kind of bottleneck in this program we are talking about. But at the end of the day, I still see the possibility of some people saying, yes, I want to invest in it because it's going to be a long-standing investment. It's going to be a kind of, if it's the type of person I am, who want to invest, I'm probably looking forward to posterity, that I want my children to take over this business, or want to make it family business. Some people will go into it. Whether it's bringing in money now or not, you go into it. Take, for example, like the university we are talking about now. If you want to invest in university, somebody was saying it will take you 25 years before you start making any reasonable money in it. But for the next 25 years, you will be investing. You'll be putting in money. day in, day out, day in, day out. Maybe before you now say, okay, after 25 years, yes, I can now relax and make money. So the same thing is going to be with this microinsurance thing. For the first 2-3 years, you may not even make kobo. It's not a cost. Because if you look at what you have to put on ground to be able to survive, it's a lot. Calling people to a meeting, you have to take care of them. And when they are going back, you have to spend money. Sometimes you have to give them transport allowance. So you already you're already spending money from the word go. You have not even started the business. You are just looking for people that will assist. You are already making money. I'll be spending money. Then by the time you now say, okay, let's start overseeing some of the structures. Even there is no way you not buy cars or few cars to do the running around. Maybe 1 or 2 cars for a state or a car for a particular state. You'll be running around. So you need this money.
Alright, welcome back. Moving on now, we bring you highlights of the Digital Takeover Conference of Fidelity Bank PLC to mark the 2018 Social Media Week at the Landmark Event Center. Speakers were Mr. Bola Joshua, CEO of Fidelity Bank PLC, Ndidi Unwuneli, founder of Leap Africa, and a host of others. As expected, the millennials turned out in their numbers. Enjoy.
Social Media Week Lagos is a week-long conference that provides the ideas, trends, insights, and inspiration to help people and businesses understand how to achieve more in a hyper-connected world. In celebration of the 2018 Social Media Week, Fidelity Bank PLC put together its Digital Takeover Conference at the Landmark Event Center. The theme was How Millennials Are Changing the Financial Landscape. The discussion kicked off with panelists sharing their thoughts on millennials. Mr. Bola Joshua, Chief Operations and Information Officer, Fidelity Bank, said her skill sets are changing because financial institutions are hiring people they never thought of before.
You have to determine what they need next, not by talking to them, but by observing what they do using data and trends. So for financial institutions, you have to invest. You have to invest in data analytics. You have to invest in behavioral science. You have to start hiring people that you never used to hire. So right now you need data scientists. You need a different sort of skill set.
Also sharing his thoughts on how millennials are changing the financial landscape, Mr. Olubayo Adekombi, Chief Transformation Officer, MTN, said that millennials are impatient. As such, businesses must begin to see themselves as lifestyle enablers.
The first thing we have seen is that the old thing that my big sister spoke about around social media is redefining their consumption behavior. They trust their friends more than they trust a bank or any other brand. They don't even love a brand talking to them. They would rather want their friends to engage them. And that is why the smartest businesses in the world today that have disrupted financial industry are industries that have gone to meet them where they are, because they're not going to come to meet us where we are. You know, if you look at the success story of WeChat, or success story of WeChat particularly, or what WhatsApp is trying to do now, when you're talking to your friend, you can also do peer-to-peer transfer, peer-to-peer lending. You know, in 2014 alone in China, as a result of what WeChat was doing on financial stuff, banks lost as much as $22 billion in revenue. So businesses must understand that these guys are not looking for product and services the way we have labeled them. They are looking for lifestyle enablers.
In her submission during the panel discussion, Mrs. Ndidi Unwuneli, founder, Leap Africa, said that young people are generally wary of traditional financial institutions.
In terms of specific financial literacy skills, I think that there's still a real fear and trust of banking. And I like the point that was made by MTN guy. It's about relationships. It's about who you know, it's about what your friend says, and it's about who you trust. And what we see over and over again is that a lot of young people still a bit wary of traditional financial institutions. And they might trust an MMM before they trust a financial institution. And the question is, what can we do to bridge that gap between what they know and what they can deliver?
All the discussants were Mr. Sam Oyemilukwe, CEO, Trace Nigeria, Mr. Wole Oyeniran, Tech Lead Deloitte West Africa, Mr. Shola Akinlade, Co-founder, Paystack, Mo Abudu, CEO, Ebony Live TV, Lai Funsho, Head Mobile and Web Payment Fidelity Bank PLC. Given the interesting discussion, participants had questions. Summing up the session, the Managing Director, Fidelity Bank PLC, Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo, said that while millennials are changing the business landscape globally, being one does not mean etiquette should go to the wind in a work environment.
Being millennial does not mean etiquette should go to the winds. It does not mean you should ruin depositors' funds, because that's what you're doing. Banking is a business of trust. We're holding money in trust for depositors. If you see a bank with 1 trillion naira, for instance, in assets, probably only 20% of that is owned by shareholders. The remaining 800 billion is owned by you here, depositors. So we are actually, custodians of other people's business. So you don't come and say you are a millennial, then you don't obey rules.
The Social Media Week Lagos 2018, now in its 5th year, still remains a world-class conference that brings Africa's brightest minds together to explore a wide range of topics, including education, business, entertainment, technology, arts, banking, and politics.
Alright, that is our time on the program this week. Here is hoping you enjoyed every moment spent. For more details on today's broadcast and other information, feel free to follow us on all our social media platforms. We are the West Africa partner of the 13th World Hackathon and InsurTech Integrated Conference taking place at the Dusitani Hotel, Dubai, UAE on the 9th of April. So you can visit our website at www.almondfinancereports.com to register and make use of the code ALMD15 to avail yourself of the 15% discount. Trust me, it's one conference you don't want to miss. Once again, thank you for joining us this week. My name is Margaret Mary Osiobor. See you next time. Bye-bye.